Hey Eden, here's a question, just kind of linked to what we were talking about a little bit. This is kind of a wild one, but like, so the idea, like these entities in power, like the idea that they would have to be like dethroned in some way, like not that they have, I don't think they have a righteous kind of throne, but nonetheless, they kind of are, the World Banks, the whole system set up. Here's a question, like, do you think we can dethrone them? And I don't mean violence or anything, but I'm saying in general that it's like up to us, or does a higher power that's even beyond them need to dethrone them?
Great question. I think we as society, I think we could maybe uh, get together and have an outreach or an outpouring of support for them and wanting to do the right thing. Maybe I don't know how that would make it. I'm sure they would have to hear about it. Like, and I agree with you. It all have to be peaceful, and I would recommend praying for them to do the right thing. And I think that's the best approach. And yeah, I think it could be done because the best way to do it is have them to do it within themselves. I don't think forcing them to do anything would be helpful because I think it'll just put up some sort of self defense and um yeah, something like what happened in Scrooge where they
Well, do you
came to the
think,
realization.
well, here's
Yeah.
another twist in it. Do you think they're human?
Oh, great point. Okay, so from one aspect, some people like maybe the Jews might think they're possessed. So maybe they are human and like their bodies are human, but their minds have been possessed by maybe this force that's been around longer than that human. So that's one aspect. So another aspect, yeah, it could be um maybe what some like what was in Enoch. I haven't read it though, so I haven't completed it anyways. But perhaps it could be something like that. But I think Dr. Heiser said, uh, yeah, there's no ancient aliens, but it could have been Anunnaki. I forgot how he described it. What do you think, though? I
Well,
think
there's a
it's
lot
more
of different
human, no?
ideas. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
different
yeah.
ideas. I guess I was just linking it like, just in terms of the idea of like them being dethroned in some way, as it were, just that kind of phrase in some way, and then the kind of like dynamics that would have to be involved in that, and then yeah, whether that has to come from something beyond us or whether we can even make that change, as it were. When I say we, I just kind of we the
Yeah, the
people kind of
people.
thing. Yeah, or is it a combination of both? But like to what degree? And then I just brought in are they human because it's like because you were talking about like having compassion for them or like and I hear you on that side of it, but what if they're not human? Does it change that? Well, there's obviously humans involved because we know there's Rockefellers and this and that. I mean, whether someone wants to say that they're like some kind of hybrid human or they're not fully human, but I mean, we know that there's like CIA agents and there's all kinds of people that are involved, you know, that are human. I would say, like, unless they are some kind of human hybrid race or shapeshifter or something to that, like to like a supernatural level. But I mean, like it seems
That's
like there's
true.
a lot of people that would be in on it to a degree that are human, or at least some. So
That is a great point, Gio, because uh, that should be considered, right? I mean, there's historic. I mean, isn't there evidence that that's a possibility? I mean, I've heard people talk about seeing shapeshifters. There's lots of video testimony. I mean, so that might be something to consider. But yeah, so I would definitely think if they are human with prayer and compassion, they might want to do the right thing because I can see in my imagination where they they turn around and then they can still be the superpowers of the world, but they've gained our trust because now they say, okay, we're going to open up the world to you. We're going to allow you to go to the North Pole and go to the Antarctic, or and it won't be so difficult. You know what I mean? Like, just because there'll be no corruption, they'll see that there's no need for corruption. Interest rates will go back to zero, or like just over zero. I can see that. But now, if they're not human, that's a completely different situation. If they are human and they're just possessed, we can just pray for them and bind. There's ways to bind those spirits. Supposedly, we can bind them in Jesus's name.
No, they removed fasting and praying out of
Yeah.
a lot of the Bibles.
Thank goodness for that. We don't have to resort to violence against them. They're just, I think, under mind control themselves. They're victims themselves, essentially, in some weird way.
You're loving this app. So I made a song really fast off of something that I'd been posting, and it's like a really good first verse. It's so good.
Nice. That's always fun. Music is pretty cool. Like back in the day, remember they probably didn't have radios, so they had to sing. Like all the guys would get together and have some drinks and then sing together. And then probably they get the girls singing for the guys.
See, I
Sometimes
really,
even music was for freedom, like freedom music. Oh, sorry, you were going to say something?
I'm just gonna say I'm surprised how easy that was. It was just so easy.
Nice. I don't know if it's true, but supposedly when William Wilberforce was taking on slavery, one night after the at Parliament, they went to the boys' club and they were drinking and playing poker. And I think it was one of the royals. He ran out of money, so he offered his slave as part of the bet. And William Wilberforce he was kind of like, he hated just the idea of slavery, so he left the table and then went outside for fresh air. And then his buddy, who ended up being the youngest prime minister in the history of England, I think William Pitt, at 24 years old, became prime minister. And he went outside to gather his friend, and then they went in together. And then William Wilberforce got up on the table and sang "Amazing Grace" in front of them all. That's pretty epic. If that happened. But yeah, William Wilberforce, his pastor was John Newton. He was a slave, and he wrote the song "Amazing Grace."
Cool song.
Yeah, they got some good flat Earth music too now. Some truth music. I don't know if you guys ever heard Eric Dubé's album, his rap album. That one was pretty good back in the day.
Dubé's got bars.
It all started with Tiger Dan.
Yeah.
Would you guys mind if I play the song?
I wouldn't
Yeah,
mind.
kind of. I would. Just a little bit.
You mind?
I'm just.
Can you hear it? Or is it bad?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can download it. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to play it. I don't think it's gonna work. It's a new app and I'm not used to it.
I don't know any rappers that rap about evolution. Imagine they had like groups of rappers that rapped about evolution. Rock stars singing about evolution.
I had the AI write me a rap. It was no music, it was just the lyrics, but it was a correlation, causation, conflation. It's actually
Nice.
pretty good.
Oh, beauty. High IQ rap.
Yeah, they used to call it conscious rap back in the day. Conscious
Oh
rap.
yeah, definitely.
But if we start rapping about pyramids and equations,
Coriolis.
B.O.B. is a good one. Other than him, I don't know too many that's like directly taken on the topic and made it sound decent.
Oh yeah, B.O.B. was great. Okay, do you know who's awesome too? I'll send you a link. His name is King Seven. He had so many albums now, like at least 3 or 4 that you could listen song after song. I'll send you a link. I'll drop it in the live chat for everybody.
All right.
So what's the other app that people use to make music? I think I heard Gio say it.
I'm not sure. I'll double check. I'll take a look.
Damn, I kind of want to finish the song. That was a good start. Shit.
You got an Apple product?
Samsung.
I was gonna say you can check out GarageBand. GarageBand's pretty interactive, pretty easy to use.
Are you looking for an AI app to like where you put in text and it'll choose a voice and some background music?
Yeah, just to make songs because I've always liked music.
Okay, yeah, I've seen someone use. I think I used it once. Let me try and find one.
Okay, I appreciate that because I'm the type of person that would just be like making music for fun. Nobody will ever hear it, just for my own benefit.
Oh, for sure. I've been using the Rogue AI to generate images against NASA. It's been pretty fun.
Be the case.
I can post some information in the side chat. Are you familiar with maybe what you see on Netflix and internet and TV and music these days? Do you see any hints of Satanism anywhere?
I'm hardly watching any
Okay, that's good.
Netflix or TV at all. So,
Oh, okay. But yeah, there seems to
but
be.
it's not a problem if you have a strong presupposition. It's very easy to find things that you think conforms to your biases, and I think that might be one of your problems. You're already suspecting there's a lot of Satanists, and then you go ahead and look for bits and pieces that might conform to your bias already. Now that is really dangerous. Really dangerous. You have to look at it from both sides. Could the things that you might think is based on some Satanism, could it be that you are putting too much into it? Could it just be that it's your strong confirmation bias that does that?
No, I think it's pretty clear. There's a lot of Satanists in music, rap and
There is?
rock and absolutely. If you go back to
But
rock and roll, I can post a whole
could you,
documentary expose
yeah,
by
before we
good
go ahead, could you
friends.
could you sort of give a definition of what you mean Satanist is?
So okay, there's different flavors of Satanism from hedonism. That's from the one scale where they don't harm anyone essentially, to the opposite end of the scale where they sacrifice and kill people.
Well, it doesn't tell me much, really. We know there are crazy people everywhere, so.
Yeah.
Do you
But yeah,
see
yeah, another friend from
do you
hedonism.
see do you see proponents? Let's say, do you see people in power, proponents, actually putting forward and claiming and stating that they are Satanists?
Yeah, I've seen it in the music industry. From an American point of view, there's the CIA. What they did was they had to use music to help control the population. So each demographic, and then they infiltrated all genres: rock, rap, jazz, and there's a few great investigative journalists and even Christians that have put together exposés clearly outlining how they align with Satanism and Satan, and it goes back to the CIA. I mean, you can go look.
Yeah, we all know there's a couple of bands or so who's doing that. But I mean, like the average popular musician, if you sort of pick bits and pieces and cherry pick some of their lyrics and stuff like that, yes, I can see you could sort of end up saying that they are Satanists, but then it's mainly taken out of context. You could do that. Everyone can do things like that with absolutely everything. You could probably have a completely different starting point, saying, okay, let's go ahead and look among them musicians and so how many are actual believers. Can we find lyrics that are telling us that they believe in a God? You would find plenty, even hard rock bands and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
To me, this is just You see, that's the problem. Your presuppositions are too strong already.
No, I think it's just I'm using my senses. I'm not. Okay. Yeah. You're entitled to your opinion. I think people are just turning a blind eye. So we definitely see the world in two different point of views.
But but the thing is, it's something you have to teach yourself is to try to look at things from different angles.
Oh yeah,
because we all know we have presuppositions and biases, and it took me many years before I I was in my late 30s before I realized that, hang on a minute, like if I read a piece, that be a political piece or something like that, I read it for the first time I read it. Of course, it's colored by my bias, but I thought myself, okay, let me read this again for the opposite bias. And that had taught me a lot of things, because the first time I read it, I find things that, oh yes, that's conformed to what I believe. When I do the opposite way, I said to myself, oh, hang on a minute, yes, this is true as well. But if you only go from one side, if you start with just one presupposition, you're gonna fuck up in the end. Because all you're doing, you're looking for confirmation that fits your already made up biases.
No, as a Christian, we're told to prove all things and hold fast to what is good. And I believe we're given the discernment, the eyes to see, and then we just use logic and reason, and then we go from there. So
yeah, but you already start off with believing there are Satanists. Yes, that's based on your personal worldview. You already have that presupposition.
Not only, yeah, because it's obvious.
Exactly. But that's my point. You see.
Okay, I'll ask you a quick question. How many hours of your time have you spent researching Satanism, please? How many hours?
I don't know how many hours, but a bit, yes.
Wait, can you guesstimate? 1 hour, 2 hours?
No, much more than that.
Okay, there you go.
20, 30, 50 hours maybe in total.
Yeah, so maybe you just haven't seen all the correct. Do you know who Dr. Gallagher is? The MD, who's a psychiatrist, who's one of the leading experts, witnesses in exorcisms. He has his testimonies on YouTube.
I've heard about it. Yes.
Yeah, so there's lots of evidence.
It's not compelling for me at all.
Yeah. Well, it's not just him. There's other medical records.
Yeah. But let's say there's a few that says that, but the majority of the specialists within psychiatry disagree with them. Why is that? Are all the rest Satanists or something like that?
Well, there's more than a few. That's why they have exorcisms, because there's literally people all across America and the world who have no one else to turn to, because the doctors probably think they're crazy. They don't have an answer, but because there's actually Christians, or even, thank goodness, there's. And by the way, I don't have anything against the Catholic people. It's just the leadership. But thank goodness there's people who have been trained in exorcism who are able to help.
Yeah, well, the mind is strange. It can make you do all sorts of stuff. But at least there's one thing we do agree upon. I don't like the Catholic Church either.
Oh yeah, the way they
But,
covered up the child abuse.
yeah, who was that? Wasn't that the Archbishop of Boston or something like that?
Yeah, and that's just in our time. Imagine
Who's now at the Vatican?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
And Stefan,
Yeah.
imagine you and I were back in the times of Martin Luther and William Tyndale and
Oh, the Jew
Rome.
hater.
Yeah. Yeah, but just put that aside for a second. Imagine you and okay, forget I even mentioned it. Imagine you and I were living in the time where Rome was in our city, lying to our families, lying to everyone, and we had to pay them money for forgiveness. And we found out that they were lying. That's essentially what's happening today. They're still lying.
Oh
Why
yeah,
should we trust
I
them?
totally agree. No, I
So,
don't trust them. That's what I say. I don't.
oh, exactly, and that's the
I
thing, though.
basically I don't trust any religious church. I don't
Yeah,
mind
and
people being religious, not at all. My personal belief doesn't bother me really. But the
did you know?
power the
Oh, sorry,
power
go
that the
ahead.
churches are trying to implement, I don't like that.
And you know what? The thing about the Vatican Church, though, they literally, it's called the ecumenical movement. They've captured all the churches, even the Protestants, the people that who exposed them in the first place. They even got the Protestants. So that's what I'm saying.
I don't
Even the
think so.
churches today, no, they do. It was called the ecumenical movement. They're all bowed to Rome now.
No,
Yes, there was
no. I mean, excuse me.
okay.
Have you ever been to Europe?
Oh yes, England. Well, no. I've only England twice.
Okay. Have you studied how the societies in Europe, Western Europe works?
A little bit. I try to. I love
Yeah,
history.
yeah. I mean, yeah, okay. You have Spain, Portugal, Italy, who are Roman Catholic, and I suppose the Greek are Greek Orthodox. I don't know. Nicole, are you still there? There's a lot of Catholics in France as well, isn't there?
Yes, there is a lot
But
of Catholic in France.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
looking at
and
the
I think so.
number.
Poland as well, but like Germany, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Iceland,
Apparently,
Faroe
there
Islands.
is.
Yeah, there's hardly any Catholics at all.
I'm looking. I'm looking. Searching for numbers that are recent about it. I'm listening. Continue talking.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys. I definitely think. Yeah. So I have a video though where essentially every church was bowing down. They had their leader from that denomination, and they were basically bowing down to Rome. It was done and completed through the ecumenical movement. That's why we have churches today that are ineffective. They don't teach the followers, basically they're leaving them unprepared. That's why you'll see most of the Christians today believe the same lies from the Vatican, such as evolution, Big
Oh,
Bang.
hang on a minute. Hang on. Are you claiming evolution is a lie?
Okay, hold on. Maybe not.
Are you actually claiming that evolution is a lie?
Well, I believe that evolution is a branch from the Big Bang that was invented by George from the Catholic priest.
No. Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on a minute. Evolution is a separate case.
Yes.
If you want to call evolution everything from the Big Bang, physics, chemistry, biology, and so on,
We have
we're
to.
not talking about the same. We don't. We're not. Yeah, but
But we have to.
why?
We have
Why
to start at stellar.
has observation measurements after Lemaitre
Oh, yeah, but we have to
confirmed?
start from the Big Bang, right?
Hang
So
on,
we have stellar.
confirm the Big Bang model.
No, but we have the problem with the cosmology. They say it's off by a factor of 1 to 120. It's the worst. It's the worst theory in the history of
No,
science.
hang on. No, hang on a minute. You're misunderstanding it. What is that based on? What's that number based on? Don't just say the number, but tell me what is behind it. What's the reason? What is that number referring to?
Maybe you can expand if you don't mind.
It's a way of looking at the constants in the universe. It's just one way of calculating something, but it really doesn't matter.
It's
It's
not
just
a
like
red
when they
flag.
do. It's like when some creationists use some sort of calculations how to build the first protein as well. It's completely wrong. The math is wrong.
Okay.
But we have, I mean, we have this CMB measurements, which is a really good indication and conforms perfectly to what the Big Bang model said. The hypothesis was there first, then later on they managed to measure it very accurately, and it conforms to the Big Bang model. Several other observations as well.
But remember, this comes from the same group.
It's a well-founded model based on observation and measurements.
Well, I don't think so, because it turns out the Earth is flat, and
No,
we're the
it's
center
not.
of the universe, and
Could you give me a
evolution is
single?
wrong.
Yeah. Could you give me a single valid measurement, empirical measurement, giving evidence for the Earth to be flat? I don't mean no observation or a photo or video, an actual empirical measurement, like using theodolites or GPS or whatever.
Well, I guess it's been done by experts in America. I think they went around to find the flattest states. I think Illinois is number 2 and Florida is number 1. Kansas, people thought was flatter than a pancake. It turns
Hang
out it
on, hang
is.
on, hang
It
on.
is number 9. Okay.
Yeah, but it's flat. Yeah, but it's still curving. It's flat compared to the geoid. It's not like flat. Like is the oceans flat? I mean, is still water flat?
Uh,
No, it's not. I suppose you've heard about this large ship model towing tanks up to 600 meters long, and you have these
yeah.
rails on top of it, which are at the exact same height above the surface of still water. And these rails curve with the water. If water was flat, then the rails should not curve.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just don't find that stuff uh, I just, for me,
Compelling.
I need better evidence, such as an uncut video now. After realizing the moon landing string Nixon, and I have my standards of evidence are really high now. I need to see visual.
Yeah, but your standard for evidence for the so-called flat Earth is very low, yes, compared to
Not really.
what your standard of evidence would be for a globe Earth. Don't you think?
Well, initially, I believed the globe Earth. I was like everybody, but then when I found out the moon landings didn't happen, I had to go back to square one.
But what does the moon landing has to do with the shape of the Earth?
Because
that was the ISS?
Because that was the
Do you
very
think the
first time.
ISS is up there? Yeah. Do you think the ISS is up there? In space?
It appears they have the U.S. place something up there, but I don't think people are on there. I've seen too many.
No, that doesn't have to. Well, we don't need people. I'm just asking. There's a lot of amateurs who's measured the height it has and the speed by doing parallax. Yeah. So, do you think that they would be able to have cameras on it, even though there's no people?
Definitely. I don't think they're going to share what is a state secret.
No, it's not
all
a state
about
secret.
control.
It's not a state. It's an international. It's an international space station.
Okay.
You know that. It's not purely American. It's an international. You got a lot of nationalities who's put money into it. Who has astronauts up there? Who's been involved in building it?
Yeah, I don't believe that any longer. I'm sorry.
You don't.
Because I saw too many
Why not?
bloopers. People
Why
fading.
not?
I've seen video of
This is,
bloopers, people fading in and out, taking harnesses.
but forget the people. I was just asking you. Okay, you agree that ISS is up in space? As it has been measured, you can do it yourself with the help of a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw
And
some
it has,
pictures of it
and
today.
they can easily have cameras, and they more or less have like 24/7 video feeds.
Yeah.
And you can see that the Earth is spherical, and then you will have satellites like the Himawari 8.
I think they try to show the curve, yeah, but
They do show the
that's not
curve.
compelling, unfortunately.
Then what would be compelling? You mean like if we could show your video from takeoff until level in space,
Yeah. Well, we've had
and
4
the Earth
decades,
and
over $1
the
trillion.
and the Earth would look like it was spherical. You would probably end up saying, "Oh no, there's something with the lens or the camera or something like that."
Not necessarily, no. If it was,
Most likely. Most likely.
why would you? Do you want me to do that with you, Stefan? With all due respect, do you want me to just
Yes, please
assume
go ahead.
that
Yeah.
you're gonna reject everything? Because I think that's
No.
disrespecting you. I wouldn't do that to you. I respect you
It was
enough.
yeah. No, but that's fair. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But
It's okay.
sometimes
It's okay. It's okay. I thank you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm open to evidence. I just find it odd that after 4 countries going to the moon, $1 trillion, we don't have one uncut video.
But why? But why would they have an uncut video?
Because that would
For
be,
you?
it would be.
But I mean, hang
just-
on.
Okay.
It takes resources, it takes energy to have cameras up and running, and most of these have not that much energy with them. So they're just saving up on electricity and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons why they're not having cameras and the radio signals being back to the Earth at all times. Just like they've done with the Voyager probes and the New Horizon, they sort of shut them down into a hibernating mode for quite a long time to save energy.
Yeah. I just
But
think
then-
it's odd after 4 decades, or let's just say, decades, over $1 trillion, 4 countries, Japan, China, India, US landing on the moon, we don't have one uncut video. That's a red flag for me. And not only that, the videos from my secondary evidence that I'd like to see, which I yet to get from Globe Defenders, is videos from Earth from the moon, the 6 moon landings. So with that missing as well,
Yeah, but hang on. What does the moon landing have to do with the shape of the Earth?
because that was the first time in the history of mankind that it was actually confirmed visually from far enough away.
No, that was done in the first one was done in 1946.
Showing
The
that.
images was taken over the Earth from space, showing that it's curving.
Okay, which country? Russia, I
That
think.
was the US.
Oh, yeah,
It was in
yeah.
the US in 1946.
Yeah, definitely. I think the mob and the Vatican were involved for sure. Remember this?
Jeez.
The Vatican.
Hang on. I'm sorry. But what do you do all the time? When people put forward some sort of evidence, you jump to, oh, no, I think the Vatican was involved, or Satanist, or someone is lying. Do you understand how that makes me feel about the way you're arguing?
I'm sorry. That's just my opinion from my research. I know. I see the motive.
Yeah, but do you have? Is there any? Could you
Go
give
ahead.
us a direct connection between like the first images taken from space and the Catholic Church? Where is the connection?
Okay, because there's 3 bodies. They work together. There are 3 districts: the District of Washington D.C., the District of London, and the District of Vatican. They are corporations that work together. One is the religious branch, one is the military, one is the financial. And they work together to basically control the narrative and the resources of the world. They want to work together to be the world superpower. And how they do that is control information.
Hang on a minute.
Okay.
Hang on a minute. When it comes to UK and US, are you talking about the stock markets?
No. These are private corporations. Like like if you actually go to London, there's a district within London that's its own corporation and its own city. It's the same in Washington and the Vatican.
Yeah, City of London. Yeah, I've been there a couple of times.
Yeah,
it's basically a lot of finances. I mean, stockbrokers, financial institution.
Yeah, essentially they work together and they want to dominate the world. And information is
Okay.
one aspect of
So,
that.
so what about German companies then? Do the Germans
What about
have bigger companies than they do in the UK? Oh, sorry,
Well,
it's
they're
my
just
dog.
the Germans build
Yeah, they do.
amazing products like the
They do.
mirrors. Yeah,
What about, hang on a minute. What about Norwegian pension fund? You ever thought about that?
yeah. These are all interesting. But I'm just talking about these three corporations together.
No, but
They
yes,
have
but
a
I
motive.
don't understand. Yeah, but that's totally wrong. If you are saying that UK has such a big power that together with the Vatican and the US can control the world, you're totally wrong.
Well, I don't think so. Have you ever heard
You
of
left out
Vanguard and
China, you left
BlackRock?
out Japan, you left out most other European countries, France, Germany, which are really big. Germany is the financial powerhouse of Europe.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Germany is number 2 in gold supply behind United States. If that's true.
Gold?
Yeah, I did a search on which companies have the highest holding in gold. Supposedly, number 1 and 2 is U.S. and Germany. So they've put
Yeah, but
themselves in
it's
good
just national
positions.
banks. That's the
Yeah.
national bank. The national banks who owns the gold, not private companies.
Oh yeah, you're right. Just on a national level. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So I
yeah,
don't see. So your claim that U.S., UK, and the Vatican is ruling the world is for me
through
completely wrong.
through financial
It
cartels
does
such
not.
as Vanguard and BlackRock. Yes, essentially those companies
Yes.
own major shares to all major companies,
Oh, they do. They do.
weapons, entertainment, music.
Yeah.
So
But it's
Vanguard's
like
really
saying
pulling the strings. And if I'm not
they are.
mistaken, the
They're
company
always.
called
Yeah.
BlackRock. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the company BlackRock, that BlackRock represents the Black Magnetic Mountain. Remember that I've told you about at the North Pole?
No, hang on. You know, there's hundreds, not to talk about thousands of people who's been on the North Pole. They even sail submarines which pop up through the ice at the North Pole. There is absolutely no mountain at the North Pole.
Do you
I don't
have?
know where you get that from.
Okay, I'm gonna
You can
take.
just Google North Pole Marathon.
But I could just Google Earth, the globe, and it's gonna show me the globe. It doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah, no, of course not. First one at the North Pole was a fellow countryman. I have a guy that I know he and another guy skied to the North Pole some years ago. I have a neighbor. She lives about 500 meters from me, a female. She skied to the South Pole in 24. Do you think they're lying?
Okay, wait. I thought you said it's water. Wait, can you? I was just sending you something, so I was only partially paying attention. My sincere apologies. You said you had a close friend that skied to the North Pole.
Yeah.
Was it the magnetic North Pole?
No, the geographic.
Geographic. Did she have? Did she take a picture of Polaris?
No. That girl went to the South Pole.
Oh, the South Pole.
Yeah, that was of course in when there's a summer in the south, so there are no stars.
Yeah.
Same with the guys. Same with the guys who went to the North Pole. It's in the northern summer, so there's no stars. You have a 24-hour sun.
I have a strong feeling that there's a black magnetic mountain under North Pole because there seems to be some records from the past, including maps that had a black mountain. And
Yeah, that must be moving then. If that's the magnetic North Pole, it has moved from Canada towards Russia. It's passed in the last, I don't know, 100 years or so. So it's moving quite fast. If that's a magnetic mountain, because the magnetic pole is moving quite a bit every year, in fact.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that. I don't know if the mountains. Okay, well, it depends. If the mountain goes all the way to the seabed, maybe the plate is moving.
Yeah, the plate is moving, but only a couple, maybe as much as about an inch per year.
Yeah, I think maybe after the flood, the continents are shifting.
No,
there was a world flood.
No, there wasn't any worldwide flood. It's impossible.
So wait, do you have any evidence? Yeah. Do you have any pictures from the North Pole, like personal pictures directly on the Polaris?
Not personal. I've never been there. No, neither have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of people who've been up there. Yeah, hundreds of people have been up there.
Oh yeah, just like Antarctica, right? They get to go to Union
Yeah,
Glacier, or
yeah.
McMurdo.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't think
about
they get to
I
go
think
to
there's
the
about
inner.
56. Yeah, I think there's about 56 research stations in total spread around the Antarctic continent. Like we have a Norwegian one is called Troll.
Okay, I have a question then for you. What nation took control of the North Pole? Do you think there's any value to the North Pole?
There is
No,
no
not really. Well,
value.
sea floor maybe, but it's just sea with ice and floating on top of the sea, and then you have the sea floor.
Okay. Who do you think's there? Russia and Canada and US?
Russian, Canada, Norway. There's a few countries who has made claim to area, just like Norway has a piece of the Antarctica because we were the first to be on the South Pole.
Oh, are you Norwegian?
Yes,
Awesome. Beautiful country. People.
it is. Yeah, it is. Climate could have been a bit better, but where I live is the sceneries. Jesus Christ, steep mountains, narrow fjords. I live by the coast, but it only takes me like half an hour to drive to be in the middle of the narrow fjords and the tall mountains.
Have you ever been
I
high
do a
enough to
lot of
see the curve?
not from the mountains, no. But one thing which is funny, there's I live down by the sea. My house is about 9 meters or so above sea level. About 150 meters west of me. When I go down to the sea, there's an island west of me, about 37 kilometers away. Down by the sea, there are sea houses and houses, and I can't see them when I'm down at the sea level. But if I move about a kilometer or so further east, up on a small hill, that's about 74, 75 meters tall, I can see those houses. And I see those many, many, many times during the year, different conditions. On top of that mountain, further away, I can see them. As I get down by the sea level or the beach, I can't see them. And there's some small, tiny flat islands between me and that island as well, which I can see from the top of that hill, but I can't see from down by the sea. It adds up to a globe. Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Okay. So I mean, it's late for me. It's 6 a.m. I'm just probably delirious. Need some sleep soon.
No, the observation matches, though. Strangely enough. Well, I should see on a globe Earth.
Do you know any Norwegian flat earthers?
Yeah, there's one. What was his name again?
Wow.
He was in the news. He was in the news and for
Oh
some time
yeah.
there,
I
put in
think
his
he
head
tried to go to
for.
Antarctica, right?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's gone to Antarctica. No.
Oh okay. I thought there was one Norwegian that went to tried to go to Antarctica and he was arrested.
No, he's not a flat earther. He's like a more of an adventurer.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. That's that was one day he was stopped because he didn't have the papers in order. That's why.
Yeah. So for me though, like I have to kind of like I tried to step back, and I try to factor in all these factors: motive, reason. I mean, and then I also see signs of corruption and deception and worse. So I
Oh
have a
yes, there
strong.
is. But what you can do, and what we can do, is go by the pure measurement. It doesn't matter if there's anyone, because if you forget, you can do observation yourself self as well, and or do measurements, and then there's no deception or corruption or something like that. So if you go only by the measurements that's been done,
I have a
then
question.
it's quite clear that the measurements support a globe Earth. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, I have a question for you then. Speaking of measurements, because I've been asking globe defenders, I've asked Shoebill, NASA Shill, I think, and I've been trying to ask a few other people. How would you personally verify the distance to the sun, yourself?
The only
don't
way
wanna
I
put you on-
could probably do that was doing a Venus transit. And of course, I would need some help, someone somewhere else on the Earth measure the angles at the same time.
How would you know
But
how
to do that,
far Venus is, if you don't mind me
no,
asking?
you don't have to. You're just using geometry.
Okay. Do you know how big
And by the
Venus
way,
is?
the measurements of Venus is done by radar, and the distance between Earth and Venus varies a hell of a lot. And that also confirms the radar measurements conforms to the change of the angular size of Venus, as
Do you know how big?
it is a furthest distance away from us to the closest.
How do you verify the size of Venus?
You don't need the size. Well, if you know the distance, like measuring by radar, and at the same time you measure the angular size, you can calculate the size of it.
Okay. That's interesting.
No, that's just perspective for you. I mean, if you know a distance to let's say a house, you know the distance to the house, and you measure the angle or size of the house, you can just use math and calculate the size of the house.
Well, that's what I'm saying. How do we know the size of Venus in the distance?
When you know the distance, like by measure by radar.
Have you
You
done?
also-
What radar should we use?
I haven't done it. Of course, not. I don't have the equipment. I don't have the equipment.
I don't expect us to either, by the way. But
No,
it was just
but there are people who do have these systems and do these measurements, like the 15-year-long radar observation of Venus, where the most accurate Doppler radar can even detect the atmosphere of Venus rotating.
That's interesting. They probably confirmed the Mars distance, right, by landing on it.
Yeah, that's one way of doing it. Of course, you know how long the radio signal takes to bounce back.
Oh, for Mars, I forgot. Is it 8 minutes?
No, that's from the sun. I can't remember. It depends.
Oh, that's right.
Again, it depends on the distance between Mars and the Earth. That's why they have these windows to sending probes to Mars to make them most efficient due to the positions, the relative position between the planets and how they move relatively to one another.
Okay. So my last question for you before I probably sign off, and we can maybe adjourn this if that's okay, because it is a little late. I want to get a
that's
couple
fine.
hours of sleep.
Yeah.
If you found out that I was right about the Vatican lying, how would that impact you? Would you?
I know the Vatican is lying. Hang on. I know the Vatican is lying, and it pisses me off.
What if they're also lying about the big? Got it wrong about the Big Bang and then the globe with America.
Yeah, you can leave the Catholic Church completely out of the Big Bang, because there's a bunch of scientists who's done measurements and observation which is not tied in to the Catholic Church at all. And by the way, why did the Catholic Church agree upon what Lemaitre called the Big Bang? Based on science, based on the evidence that he had. That's why the Catholic Church agreed upon accepting it. You still there?
I'm not sure if you guys can hear me, but it looks like I might have an issue, or it looks like the sound cut off. So, thanks for your patience, guys. I hope you all have a beautiful night, day. I'll talk to you later.